Welcome to Work Life Unbalanced, a Tier 1 web series exploring the challenges and opportunities of virtual work. I'm Jordan Rickard, your host, and I'm joined by my co-host, Heather Huber. Hi, Heather.
Hi, Jordan. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. So today we're going to talk about finding a new rhythm in the midst of this very unique and challenging time for all of us. Not just, across the world, but, it's hitting close to home too.
Joining us for today's conversation are two more of our favorite Tier 1ers, Sharon Boller and Christy Carr. Welcome.
Hey, Jordan. Hey, Heather.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Sharon, let's get started. What do you do to cultivate a positive rhythm for your day?
I like to start my day with movement. For me, getting out for a pre-work walk matters, even if it's only for 10 minutes. And that's actually my mental rule, is that I tell myself if I have even 10 minutes, I have enough time. And so I will go out for at least 10 minutes. Sometimes I'll have a little bit more time. You can go out for as much as a half hour. And then periodically throughout the day, I'll also sneak in movement moments, as I call them, or sometimes even movement workouts if there's a meeting that I can attend without having to be on camera. I'll get on the treadmill or my spinning bike and spin for a half hour.
That's so great. I love that. There's something else that you had talked about with us yesterday when we were talking through that there's something that you really like to avoid. What is that?
Yeah, chair butt.
Yeah.
I have a morbid fear. It just feels like when you sit for hours that you're kind of becoming one with the chair and your butt is literally spreading to fill it. So for me, it's about getting up and out of it often enough that I avoid the whole chair butt syndrome, as I like to call it.
Yeah, none of us want our butts looking like our chairs. So thank you for sharing that with us. And, I think I love the idea of getting on your treadmill or your spin bike during conference calls. I know that Jordan does that too sometimes. And I really hope that Peloton is listening because I think that's a new business model for them. So, Christy, when we think about that really big picture, though, what you've shared this with us too. So, what is the crisis really teaching us?
Well, many of us are really impacted by the crisis and are experiencing it in ways that we can't imagine. But for others, it's been an opportunity to slow down, just this really big change of pace. So I know for myself and many, we're not rushing out the door to get to work before the rush hour traffic. And we're not responsible for getting our kids to activities here and there and being pulled in all of these directions. And so I think that's really offered us each an opportunity to slow down, to think about what works best for us, and maybe to align our days or our weeks in a way that feels better for us, something that's a little bit more natural.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that. There's aspects of my life now that are a bit slower, a bit simpler. And there's things that I think about wanting to retain if we ever go back to normal. Sharon, while some people may be experiencing some benefits in our new circumstances, a slower pace, some simplicity, there are others who are really struggling during this time. What are you doing as a leader to care for people?
Well, I have a little Post-it. Let's see if I can put it into my camera view. I remind people of this. I've actually done it with clients as well as internal Tier 1ers on meetings. And that's the idea that we have to choose grace every day. We have to give it and we have to ask for it. We're all in uncomfortable modes sometimes, and some things are really hard. We're doing things for the first time. We're feeling extremely stressed. And I think it's important to have that mentally in our heads, to overtly talk about it or just acknowledge it at the start of some of our interactions. And then as a leader, to also be vulnerable enough to be honest when you're feeling it yourself, because I think that then gives permission for other people to acknowledge it as well.
I love that you begin every meeting with choose grace. And I think that's something I know that I will write on a Post-it and share with others as well. That's something, thank you, Sharon, I think I'll take with us. So, Christy, I think when we think about, rhythms as organizational leaders, like what does that look like, or what advice could you give leaders to help their people really find a rhythm right now during this time?
I think that's a great question. And I begin with me. I'm an organizational leader at home. And so I have to recognize that I have to meet my children where they are. And I think that's a really good thing for all leaders and organizations to do, is to just meet people where they are. Understand that there is no one right way to make it through this pandemic, and that we're all dealing with issues and feelings and circumstances in our homes that are much different and out of the leader's control ultimately. So it's an opportunity for leaders to trust generously. I love Sharon's idea of choosing grace in those moments and really giving people the time and space to work things out, trusting that they'll get their work done as they need to. I think empathy goes a long way in realizing that our reality isn't the same reality for other people.
Yeah, that's so true. I think, Jordan, you've said this quite a bit, is that we're not just working at home through a crisis. We are, um, you know, during a crisis, we are all working at home. And so it's like a little bit, the way that you think about it might be a little bit different. And, it's important to remember, like you said, extending grace and empathy, especially right now, and that just because your experience is one thing minute to minute, somebody else's is going to be very different. And just, like Sharon, like you said, extending that grace to everyone. So thank you both for joining us today. And, just having that really transparent and thoughtful dialogue with us. So, obviously there's so much more to say about this topic, but we'll say goodbye for now. So thank you so much.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
We welcome you to join our conversation. Leave us a note in the comment section below. What does your rhythm look like these days? What are you doing to stay grounded and connected? What topics do you want us to explore in future episodes? Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss out. Bye-bye, everyone.